As Africa's most populous country, Nigeria is home to over 40 million small businesses, some of which have access to the internet but lack the expertise to harness digital tools to grow their businesses. However, with the advent of artificial intelligence, the playing field has been level, enabling even the most novice entrepreneurs to create professional marketing materials and compete in the global marketplace. Now, joining me to explore the vast opportunities that AI and digital trade present for Nigerian small businesses and how entrepreneurs can be empowered to leverage these tools to drive growth is Dr. Gilead Okolonkwo, blockchain expert, agro-tech leader, and Afrocentric artificial intelligence training advocate. He's also the chairman and CEO of Beep Agro Africa and founder of Mingo, first Pan-African social media and digital networking platform. He joins us virtually from Lagos. You're welcome to Business Express, Dr. Okolonkwo.
Thank you very much.
Okay, beautiful. Well, you've seen the DG of WTO there talking about the WTO initiative on digital trade for women. What do you make of this recent development? Nigeria being selected as one of the pilot countries for the scheme.
Well, it's a very positive development, and Nigeria being added to the list shows the recognition of Nigerian entrepreneurship, and most especially addressing the fact that women are not actually left out, because the current society, digital trade is actually taking over a lot of precedence. Reason being that as we speak, the world is now a global village, which means that whatever product or service that you render, with the introduction of internet and then with some digital tools, you'll be able to serve a larger market. But the question is, in Africa, how prepared are we with regards to the use of this particular digital solution to be able to expand and to scale our business? So I think with this particular support, it's going to open more doors and more opportunities for Africans, especially women, to be able to look at how they can be able to expand their business and know that it's not as difficult as it is. Because with the right tools, even though we don't have so much literacy, you would be able to take advantage of digital technology and then artificial intelligence that is possible now.
Now, with artificial intelligence in the picture, how can we prepare ourselves or position ourselves as a society, or most, when you look at the small and business enterprises space, how can we actually deploy the use of artificial intelligence to our advantage? Because it seems like the world is far, far ahead of us when it comes to using those technical, tools to actually advance our particular interests in different fields.
I think it's very important that, especially in Africa, that we begin to look at artificial intelligence from a positive point of view. Why? Because when artificial intelligence actually started some years back, many of us, especially in Africa, we have not been able to understand the practicality. But I think it is important that now we should be intentional and we should be deliberate, because artificial intelligence is all about data that is processed, data that is fed. So we have actually come to experience artificial intelligence interpretation of text to image. We've seen artificial intelligence interpretation from text to sound, text to video. These are some of the adoption of what artificial intelligence can actually do. But one thing that we need to tell ourselves, especially in Africa, is that how are we going to take advantage of this? Well, if we are not intentional, take for example, in one of our projects, we were looking at how does artificial intelligence represent Africans within the entire ecosystem or within the scope. The sad reality is this, that artificial intelligence, because of the scarcity of data and because we are not intentional in Africa, have a biased approach with regards to identifying us as Africans. I'll give you an example. Imagine you using a digital tool, and then you actually tell artificial intelligence like ChatGPT or any of these tools to give you a text to image of an African princess. Do you know that the artificial intelligence would actually interpret that to be a white lady, meaning that there is no African princess that is actually black?
Yes.
Or when you actually say an African kid's going to school, it actually interprets that to be white kids going to school, that we in Africa, we cannot go to school, that we are not recognized. These are some of the little things that we need to begin to become intentional about. Because if we are not to correct this abnormality, that is why beyond the use of artificial intelligence, it is important that we begin to actually talk about training of artificial intelligence. We begin to look at what is this query that the artificial intelligence have, and how we can be able to correct it. Because if we do not, then if we actually query it to do a prompt, it will not give us the right message, which of course would also affect the output in the use of artificial intelligence. So as Africans, we must be intentional. We must be part of this ecosystem. We must see what is seen, and then we must be able to put our input in correcting it. Otherwise, we may not maximize the benefit of it.
Okay, what role do you see government and private sector taking to correct these things, as you said, and to actually, make this digital platform very much affordable and accessible? Because right now we are talking about the tariff is not actually good for a lot of, it's somehow high at this point in time. So how do you see government and key players in the private sector coming to make this accessible for small and medium scale enterprises to actually take advantage of it?
Well, I think just like what we have just seen, WTO, in terms of such funding, we would definitely need all of that. So we need more of the government to actually identify projects that would start from the basics, one of which include the government should be interested in supporting trainers of artificial intelligence. That's one. Two, we also want to expose this body of knowledge within the youth market, because Nigeria is actually a youth market. And most of our youth needs to have mastery of this particular knowledge right from the school. So in our tertiary institution, how intentional are we with regards to exposing this so that the young generation can be able to understand or have mastery of this? From the private sector, it's also important that we begin to look at how we can develop indigenous artificial intelligence projects. We need to dig deep into chatbot engineering and be able to show to Africans that it is possible for us to be able to have this particular technology at the fingertips. Secondly, private sector should also be able to break this down so that in our day-to-day life, we can see the ease of use. Take, for example, within the financial system like the banks have actually created chatbot systems. But to be honest, very few people are using it. So people don't want to even use that because their knowledge is not there. They want to go to the bank to actually direct or have direct interference. So knowledge is very, very important. Training is very, very important. And then more of private sectors should come into this particular stuff, know that they can actually contribute. And whatever that is done on a traditional approach, artificial intelligence can be implemented, which can actually enhance it and speed up the process. So through this way, we can get more individuals to come in, and then we can subsidize the cost. Because when more private sector are interested in contributing their quota in supporting artificial intelligence, then the cost would actually come down.
Now, what's your vision for a thriving digital trade ecosystem in Nigeria? And what pieces are missing? And how can we actually bring them together?
For one thing, Africa, Nigeria is a huge market. One thing, we are fast learners. We are interested in moving technology. And when we are able to see the end from the beginning, we want to adopt. So that is why at this point, I want to say that the missing gap is education. The missing gap is education and training. So we need more of private sector, government, to make this education easily accessible. Once we make this training accessible to a lot of people, and we begin to share the benefit that artificial intelligence is not the mark of the beast. Some people say that it is the mark of the end, that sometime when you begin to see this, then know that the end is coming. That is part of the understanding we have as Africans. But when we understand that artificial intelligence is going to complement, meaning that I don't have to actually hire, take for example, I want to do videography. Before now, I need to get someone who is an expert. I need to get someone to shoot the video for me. I need to get someone to do the script for me. But now with artificial intelligence, I don't need that. All I need is text to voice, text to image. I actually have to script it. I don't have to spend that much money. And artificial intelligence will interpret that script, speed up my test, the process of my thought, give me more ideas about how best I can be able to do this, give me multiple options for me to actually select from. It speed up the process. So with this, we can be able to get more. So the gap is more training, more education, and have an open mind that yes, it has positive impact, for everything that we do when it comes to what business or when we are applying artificial intelligence in our endeavor. So that way we can be able to actually bridge the gap.
Dr. Okolonkwo, before I let you go, you recently launched the MyNgo first Pan-African social media and digital networking platform. Tell us about it.
All right, Mingle is actually first Pan-African social media platform which is focused on freedom. The Mingle is an acronym which means that the M stands for monetize, the N stands for, the Y stands for your network, your power, the N stands for network, the G stands for grow, the U stands for unify, and L stands for what? Leverage. For a long time in Africa, we discovered that we have been shadow banned, meaning that we want to actually monetize. We want to make money from social media. But sadly, most of the rules of engagement have made a lot of Africans to actually do so much. We want to show our skin because we want to get engagement. The reason is because it is actually an algorithm that is there. Some of us have been doing this for 7-8 months, and yet we are not monetized. But in actuality, we're actually feeding the providers of this particular platform. So that is why Mingle is actually coming with a difference. We are saying that it is time for Africans to actually talk about the originality of our culture, to be able to speak about who we are, to tell our story as Africans, to be able to get the right image and picture of who we are. We don't want someone else to tell us. And from day one, you start your journey of monetization. That way, we can be able to connect to authentic, true African originality, and then we can be able to take advantage of the power of monetization without actually breaking our culture. So that is exactly what Mingo is all about. And we are saying to all Nigerians to support this. The application is actually on Play Store for you to actually come in and then begin to communicate or say something about Africa. Know that every message you say is actually recorded and it's stored. And tomorrow, it could actually be a reference point to tell the positive story of Africa.
Thank you very much, Dr. Okolonkwo. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to actually engaging with you, on the issue of this African influence, when it comes to creativity and AI innovations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Yeah.